Let's begin it. Hello, people. This is Jerry speaking. Welcome to TheCrazyBunch's WebShow episode number 73. Today we're doing not one, not two, but yeah, 15 short dev topics. Next week we'll be doing not one, not two, but a lot of very long dev topics along with some recent dev topics. And afterwards, I am done with dev topics right now because you see, a lot of it has to do with dev topics because from July, because I missed some from July through September because I've been busy with LJP Social Club content. Plus, there wasn't a Crazy Bunch web show at all. So let's just read you some dev topics now. Shall we? So we got for us. His name is Jack King, something like that. Better known as Jack Lee King, okay? Was an American actor, but he was best known as General Aaron Bull Philbright in NBC's television adventure series The A-Team. It was a supporting role in the final season of Tales of Wells Fargo starring Dale Robinson. He was born November 30th, 1931. He was a son of a couple who farmed outside of Alva, Oklahoma. Okay. Both says grandparents were representatives in the I can pronounce it CSLR. How do you pronounce this word? Of 1893. When he was young, his parents divorced. Wow. His mother began working as a Harvey girl. Wow. Although his mother had custody of him, her arduous hours as a waitress led him to his living with relatives. Wow. Eventually settled with a family name, Demonji, when he attended college school. Later he attended St. Michael's Boarding School in Santa Fe, New Mexico. Okay, he left there when his mother became ill. Was on him into their return to Oklahoma, where she lived with his grandmother. Okay, where he lived with his aunt and uncle. Wow. Before turned to acting, getting served with the United States Marine Corps for 4 years and was already discharged. During the 1950s, he played college football in the University of Oklahoma. Wow. Norman, he scored 5 touchdowns during his time in Oklahoma and played the 1954 Orange Bowl game. His career began when he starred the war film Sniper's Ridge in 1961. He played Will Coleman, where the farm Groves in 1974. Not to be confused by the 2005 movie which I saw on ABC. Okay, that makes more sense. Anyway, other film credits includes Aim High in 1968, Play Missy for Me in 1971, and High Plains Driver in 1973. All opposite Clint Eastwood. He also appeared in the horror films Die Sister Die in 1972 and in 1973. Okay, makes more sense. Anyway, as well as an action film, That Man Bald in 1973. He also appeared in TV movies such as Terror in the Sky in 1971 and his appearance of Flight 412 in 1974. Getting portrayed Dying Ryan in NBC's The Man of the Challenge from 1959 until 1960. Okay? He also starred in The Dead Man Who Don't Play No Depths, an episode of Bat Masterson, okay? Masterson, okay, makes more sense. Anyway, played a small town sheriff in love with a girl whose name is the same as the man he's sworn to kill. Wow. He portrayed the writer in 8 episodes in 1958 until 1959 at syndicated Western series Mackenzie's Raiders. Thereafter, he appeared as Bruce McCloud in 13 episodes of the last season of ABC's Western series Tales of Wells Fargo. Okay, in 1960, Ging appeared in one episode of the Twilight Zone, an episode named "The Whole Truth." He made 3 guest appearances on Perry Madison. Okay, including in 1962 playing Dave Pierce in the Case of the Lonely Emperor. From 1962 to 1964, he played a young psychiatrist in NBC's 62-episode medical drama, The 11th Hour. In 1966, he played Simon Dobbs as blind ex-lawman trying to cope for this new affliction in the episode Stage Stop, Season 12, Ted, on the TV Western Gunsmoke. Gang has also had recurring roles such as Return Dan Ives, one made of Joe Maggs' Los Angeles Police Department context of Maggs, okay, from 1967 to 1975. Gang has also had roles such as The Roaring Twenties, $6 Million Man, okay, The Blind Woman, Wise Guy, BJ and the Bear, The Winds of War, and War and Remembrance. In 1981, Gideon played Tracy Winslow in the episode My Hero Has Always Been Cowboys. And on the ABC's The Great American Hero, from 1984 to 1985, Gideon played the Aurora's Lieutenant Quinlan on the adventure detective series Riptide. His character was killed off and he went on to appear on the A-Team, on which he may have made 2 guest appearances as villains. Wow. His role as a regular on the TV program included Chuck Morris on the short-lived CBS crime drama Dear Detective, and Emmanuel Kane on the NBC adventure series The Highwayman. Athletic accomplishments. In addition to his achievements in football during his college years, Gideon played for 1 season with the Nation MXO, something like that, of the Canadian Football League after he graduated. He was also a Crosby Golf Tournament winner and a Clint Eastwood Celebrity Tennis Tournament champion. Wow. Jackie K. King married right out of high school. After they divorced, he wed Gretchen Graceling on April 19th, 1956. They have 1 son, divorced in September 1973. On September 1978, Gabe married Sharon Warmans Thompson in Los Angeles. They have 2 daughters. Gabe died of natural causes at his home in Waukesha, California on September 9th, 2022. He was 9 years old. My next death topic, was this Mark Miller. Born as Clyde Harbert Miller Jr., he was best known as an American stage and television actor and writer. He was starring over 30 plays and made more than 40 appearances in television programs and films since 1953. Wow. He was best known for his roles as Bill Houghton in Guess What, Ha Ho, and as Jim Nash in Please Don't Eat the Daisies TV series, as Alvy in the movie he wrote and produced Smash Smiles. Miller was born in Houston, Texas on November 20th, 1924. He graduated from New York's American Academy of Dramatic Arts in 1952. After graduation, he was immediately cast in the revival of the Philadelphia story in Newport, Rhode Island. His Castillo Playhouse and began a long-lasting career acting on stage and on television. Wow. He co-starred with Joanne Drew and J. Carol Nash in the 1961 ABC sitcom Guess What Ho. The story of a New York City family named Holton was relocated to New Mexico to operate Do Ranch. Okay, makes more sense. Miller guest starred in numerous series, including NBC's Western Tall Man with Barry Sullivan and Gru Greyer, as I mentioned during the death topics earlier. Greyer, which I'll mention that earlier. Let me see here. See here, as I mentioned last episode, or whatever it was, he died. Oh man. Okay, moving on. Anyway, well, as I mentioned last episode. Anyway, he had a role in the film Youngblood Hawk in 1964, and it appeared Jack Ford's ABC Radio American Adventure series Stony Brook. Okay. In 1955 to 1966, he portrayed college professor Jim Nash, the leading role opposite Patricia Cawley on the NBC's MGM television post sitcom Please Don't Eat the Daisies, loosely based on the Farrago film starring Doris Day and David Niven. Okay. He played various film roles in numbers of other television shows, including The Millionaire, Gunsmoke, Marcus Welby, MD, The Eddie Grimm Show, General Hospital, and I Dream of Jeannie. From 1969 to 1970, Miller played the role of psychic Ross Craig in NBC's The Name of the Game. He starred in the 1952 episode of Alfred Hitchcock Presents, titled Apex, okay, in which he plays a plastering husband intent of killing his wife. Wow. In 1973, he appeared in the episode Death by Predation, Laura Green's ABC's crime drama Griff. Okay. Miller produced and starred in the 1982 movie Savannah Smiles, for which he also wrote a story and screenplay. He starred alongside Slim Pickens in Christmas Mountain in 1981. Personal life and death. He was in 1959 December. Miller married costume designer and publicist Patrice Hudson Emmett-Dow. Excuse me. The couple had 3 daughters together: Marissa Miller, Penelope Ann, and Savannah Miller. Okay, the 2 little girls became both actors. The curly blonde hair and youngest daughter, Savannah, gave Miller the initial idea of the movie Savannah Smiles, and she ended up having a small role in the end as well. The couple divorced in 1975. Miller remarried in 1976 to actress Barbara Stanger. The 2 co-wrote the screenplay from the 1995 film A Walk in the Clouds together, starring Keanu Reeves and Anthony Quinn, directed by Avenue Ariel. The couple divorced in 1998. Miller has 6 grandchildren. Miller retired from Hollywood in the late 90s and moved to Taos, New Mexico with Stanger. In 2010, he wrote the play Morris Crossings. Wow, okay. And then that started Moya Sweat. Premiered, okay, I keep on myself, sorry. At the Initial Fear in Jacksonville, Florida. That play ran for 4 weeks for the sold-out audiences. In 2014, he moved back to Los Angeles, where he formed a production company, Gossip Moon Entertainment, and he continued to write and sell screenplays. He died in Santa Monica on September 9th, 2022. He was 97 years old. Wow. My next step topic has to do with Henry Sylvia, best known as an American actor, character actor. Sylvia was a regular staple of international drama cinema, and usually play criminal gangsters. His phenomenal film appearances include ones on Ocean's 11 in 1960, The Mediterranean Canyon in 1982, Johnny Cool in 1963, Sharky's Machine in 1981, and Ghost Dog, Way of the Samurai in 1999. He was born on Brooklyn, New York City on September 23rd, 1926. He was the son of Jesus Sylvia and Angela Madrez, and was a Silicon and Spanish descent. Wow, okay. And his father was abandoned in the family when he was young, and he grew up in Spanish Harlem with his mother. He quit school when he was 13 years old to attend drama classes, supporting himself as a dishwasher and a waiter in the Manhattan Hotel. By 1955, Sylvia felt ready to audition at the actor's studio. He was accepted. When he at the studio stage, Michael V. Cassio's play, The Handful of Rain, is a classic project, where itself grew out in the earlier versions by Sylvia, Paul Richards, and Tony Brasco, based on a scene written by Gasso titled Pot. It proved so successful that it is presented on Broadway, with Stewart's band Joshua, Shelley Winters, who was spotted in the later portrayed the roles of Crystal in Frosty the Snowman's sequels, Frosty with Wonderland and with Rudolph, Frosty the July, but Chris is almost here at the time. But anyway, Harry Gallo, and along with Francis, Richards, and Sylvia. Key roles, Sylvia also appeared in plays film version. Wow. Early film roles and typecasting. His Hollywood debut was an uncredited appearance in Elias Cassin's 1952 Villa Zapadia. He then went on to play the succession of villains in films such as Tall T in 1957 with Randolph Scott, The Bios 1958 with Jerry Peck, and The Wall of Jake and Wade in 1958. In the 1959 venture film Green Mansions, he played Forrest Drolly. So I can't pronounce that. Sorry. Starts with a V. Native, well known as Coco. Okay, who tries to murder a young woman, played by Audrey. Wow. He was one of the 11 casino robbers in the 1960 Rat Pack caper film Ocean 11, starring Frank Sinatra, D. Martin, Sanji, Sammy Davis Jr., and Peter Lawford. Okay? Makes sense. He also played Thomas against Gauchin in the original Majorans candidate in 1962. Again, opposite Sinatra, and portrayed the Native American in Sinatra's and Martin's Rat Pack Western, Sergeant Spree, that same year. He gradually became typecast, playing mobsters, robbers, and other criminals. Excuse me. Anyway, in 1956, he appeared in The Hitman in the episode Better Bargaining on Alfred Hitchcock Presents. In 1963, he stars a mobster in the episode An Out for Oscar. Okay, makes more sense. And on Alfred Hitchcock Hour. However, he didn't play the comic role was one up with the Step Brothers, 1960 Jerry Lewis film Cinderella. Wow. Parody of Cinderella with Lewis in the title role. Wow. He appeared in the many television series, both guest starring and recurring roles. Other appearances including feature roles in the Hour Limits, plus roles in episodes of Untouchables, Western's Night Gallery, Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea, and Mission Impossible, as well as Boris Karloff's suspense series, Thriller. He also appeared in Street of San Francisco, Dr. Collide, and many more shows. In 1963, he also appeared as a lead role in the gangster film Johnny Cole, which was produced by United Artists and Chris Law. Okay? His character Sylvia's Johnny Cole, Gario, was a hitman sent to the mission exile mobber Johnny Cole, how pronounce it, sorry, to kill the underworld figures who have plotted against the mobber. Premiered on October 19th, 1963, the film enjoyed box office success as well as a critical acclaim. Wow. Critics also praised the actor's first lead performance. Wow. Was able to carry the film. Supporting cast features Elizabeth Montgomery, who's later became the role of this witch character on Bewitched series, sitcom. But anyway, Mark Shaw, okay? Tales of Oz, which is a puzzle on the pilot episode Wheel of Fortune, by the way. Jim Buckas, Joy Bishop, and Sammy Davis Jr. Well, most of these characters were murdered by Johnny Cole, who, of course, in this film, Barry would praise Sylvia's performance, where Henry Sylvia was as a Scullion-born assassin who is at home as a delivery boy of death. Wow. In '65, an Italian film producer made Sullivan an offer to star in the hero for a charge change, and he moved to his family overseas. Wow. Sylvia's turning point pictures with the spaghetti western, The Hill Runs Red, in 1986, which made him the hit box office community in Spain, Italy, Germany, and France. Between 1956 and 1977, he started and co-starred in at least 25 movies, between the Mario of the Italian Possession films, which you normally play the villain or the hitman, or a dark hero, or a combination of the two. These include Manhunt 32, It Boss in 33, and Almost Human in 34. He also appeared against type of Japanese detective in Mr. Mato in the '65 American mystery, The Return Motto. Mr. Motto, excuse me. And a anti who helped rape Michelle Carey in the 1970 revenge western Five Savage Man. Wow. Returned to the United States in mid-1970s. He was co-starred with Frank Sinatra in Contract Cherry Street in 1977, and Charles Bronson in Love and Bullets in 1979. He then signed it on as a Evil Advisory Killer K in Buck Rogers in the 25th Century in 1979. There's a lot of reading to do in this death topic. Anyway, in 80s and 2000s career. In the 80s and 90s, he appeared in Arbitrator Claudio Block in Alligator in 1980, a drug addict hitman in Burt Reynolds' Sharky Machine in 1981. A former prison Warren turned enforcer and escaped from the box in 1983, which is lampooned on Mystery Science Fear 3000. A comedy gangster in Cannonball Run #2 in 1984 opposite many of his former Rat Pack buddies. The villainous CIA agent Kurt Zagoon in Steven Seagal's debut in Against the Wall, About the Wall, 1988. The Senator Bob Hitman influence in Dick Tracy in 1990. And the voice of Ruthless supervillain Bane in Batman the Animated Series in 1994. And the new Batman Adventures in 1998. Sue also played the crime boss Ray Varjo and Jim Jordan, the Ghost Star, the Way of the Samurai in 1999, who plays his own hit on the title character. He also starred himself in the spoof and search type shows and comedies Amazon Woman the Mood in 1987. The segment titled Harry Sylvia's BS or Not. I'm not gonna cuss in this video, sorry. In this episode, but anyway. And played a senator in the boxing match in 2001 version of Ocean's 11. In 2012, he contributed to Ultra Crime, the Italian cop, and the gangster film that ruled the 70s. A feature-length documentary directed by Mike Molly. Sawyer was married 3 times. His first marriage was to Mary Ramos from 1949 to 1955, and a divorce. His second was on March 16, 1959, to Cindy Carvey, and was married to Rove Earl from September 4th, 1966, until it ended divorce on November 1987. Silver all have 2 children, both of whom were born in Los Angeles. Michael Henry Sylvia was born September 3rd, 1989. And Scott Steven Sylvia was born on July 14th, 1936. Henry Sylvia died on September 14th, 2022, 9 days before his 96th birthday, in the motion picture television fund home in Lowland Hills, Los Angeles. Wow. Size me, I know. My next death topic has to do with Bernard Shaw. I was going to talk about it last month, but because of reasons, but that's just me. Anyway, his name goes by the name Bernard Shaw. Was an American journalist and lead news anchor for CNN from 1980 until his retirement on March 2nd, 2001. Part of his time at CNN, he was a reporter and anchorman for WNUS, Washington House Broadcasting, CBS News, and ABC News. Born on Chicago, Illinois, to Edgar Shaw, rural employee and house payer, and Camilla Murphy Shaw, a housekeeper, on May 27, 1940. Okay, May 22nd, I'm just close, sorry. He attended the University of Illinois, Chicago from 1963 to 1968. He was served as the United States Marine Corps, including stunts in Hawaii, and the Marine Corps Air Station Cherry Point, North Carolina. When in 1962, he was a message center specialist, achieving the rank of Corporal E4. He expected to passionate the interest in the print media, clipping articles from newspapers, and often traveled on weekends to Washington, D.C. He cultivated and alternated with Walter Cronkite, the CBS Evening News anchorman, back in the 60s until the early 80s. Anyway, he had an interest in baseball. Then he began his broadcasting career as an anchorman for the reporter of WNUS in Chicago in 1984. He then worked as a reporter for Western House Broadcasting Company in Chicago, moving later to Washington and the White House correspondent. He worked correspondent for Washington Bureau of CBS News, from 1971 until 1977. In 1977, he moved to ABC News as Latin American correspondent and bureau chief before becoming the Capitol Hill's senior correspondent. Shaw left ABC in 1980 and to move to CNN as co-anchor in the prime news broadcast. Anchoring from Washington, D.C., Shaw's covering the 1981 assassination attempt of U.S. President Ronald Reagan, with Shaw joined by former CBS News correspondent Daniel Shaw, one of the first on-air personalities hired by fledgling cable in that channel from CNN at the time. He's credited to help establish CNN as a credible, reliable broadcast news source in the early point in the news network's history. Shaw was widely known through a question he posted to Democratic U.S. presidential candidate Michael Dukakis as the second presidential debate with George H.W. Bush during the 1988 election, which Shaw was monitoring. Knowing that Dukakis operated the death penalty, Shaw asked him if he would support the Australian death penalty for the man who obstructed, raped, and murdered Douglas' wife. Wow. He responded that he would not. Critics felt that he was framed in his response to legalizely and logically did not address it scholarly on the personal level. Key to Douglas, among the other public figures, found the question and famously unwarranted at the presidential debate. Several journalists also were panels of Shaw, including Ann Kaufman, Andrea Mitchell, and Margaret Warner of the PBS NewsHour. Wow. Expressed an interest in leaving Douglas' name off of the question. He also remembered for his reporting of the 1991 Gulf War. Reporting with CNN correspondents John Halverman and Peter Harness from the Al-Washington Hotel in Baghdad. He found Sarah under the desk and he reported cruise missiles flying past his windows. He also made frequent trips back and forth for the hotel's bomb shelter. While describing the situation in Baghdad, he famously stated, "Clearly I've not been there, never been there, but it feels like it was going to serve hell." Okay. Shaw moderated the October 2020 vice presidential debate and between Dick Cheney and Joe Lieberman. Shaw also co-anchored CNN Inside Politics from 1992 until he retired from CNN in March 2001. He occasionally appeared on CNN, including May 2005, when a plane flew the British airspace in Washington, D.C. He co-anchored with PBS NewsHour's with my childhood growing up, Julie Woodruff's last broadcast on CNN on June 2005, which, by the way, that was my birthday month, by the way. But anyway, I was 10. Shaw reflected over his 41 years of journalism, and that we miss in his personal life with not worth success. Shaw appeared on June 1st, 2020, episode of CNN's Urban Burners Up Front to recognize the 40th anniversary of the start of the network. He won the William Conrad Award for Excellence in Journalism, Paul Award in '96, both in '94 and '96. Anyway, Radio Television Digital News Association. But our show was inducted in the Russell of the Lincoln Academy of Illinois and Award of Lincoln. State highest honor for the governors of Illinois in 2002 and the areas of Nations. Shaw was married to Linda Ellison from March 30th, 1974 until his death. They have 2 children, Amar Ager and Anar Louise. He died on the hospital in Washington, D.C. on September 7th, 2022. He was 82 years old after trying for pneumonia. Wow. Wow. My next step topic has to do with Jeff West, okay? He was best known as Jeffrey West. He was an American playwright, minstrel, and actor. Both on Broadway and Fear. He was ran for partner Richard Morris in the East Village, Manhattan. Okay. West grew up in Allentown, Pennsylvania, with his parents, 2 brothers, and 1 sister. His father was a salesman for Philadelphia comic companies. Okay. His brother Stephen West currently lives in California. His nephew Stephen's son is actor Jonathan Taylor Thomas. Wow. West became involved in theater, both writing and acting in plays in New York City. His work was often presented at La Mama, Special Theater Club, and Cafe Kinos. Okay, his first performance at La Mama's was in Robert Shelley's Waiting Boy. Okay, followed by Shelley's performances both in 1964 and 1966. He read the Fernbird American Indian Feet Dancers in La Melissa Montfauci's Free Bass Dances in La Mama. Okay. He then performed in Jean Robbie's Window, directed by Tom Argens, okay, in La Mama in 1966. West often collaborated with his partner and producer Richard Martinez. Wow. Okay. Noise from New Mexico. In 1966, Martinez directed West in West's own one-man show in La Mama. That's how the rent gets paid. In 1967, West performed alongside Mary Baldwin in H.M.'s comments when the clowns play Hamlet, which okay, never mind. Which Collins directed with Oregon's at La Mama. Okay, he directed and produced, performed in the production of Jeff Waddell's There Should Be Violence in the Sunday Scholar at La Mama. Also in the same year. Okay, makes more sense. Anyway, 1967. Anyway, Martinez directed in a production of West on initial West wrestling match and Old Testament Mario play in 2 additional acts at La Mama in January 1969. West performed in Julie Marshall's Glorious and I can't pronounce that, sorry, at La Mama in April 1969. A play West wrote for children. Watch was produced at La Mama in 1972, and West Out of the Rent got paid. Part 2 was following the 1966 show was produced at La Mama in April of 1973, and this play Pushover was produced at La Mama in November of 1973. In 1979, he directed his play Dot Twist at La Mama, and produced it again, and that's how they get paid. Wow. In 1984, enters the role group including William Duffy, Kate Valk, and Ron Moyer. Join West and that's how I get paid. Part 4, or the Conventions of Conrad. I can't pronounce his last name. Conrad. I can't pronounce it. It starts with a G. Sorry. At the Performance Garage in New York City in 1992. West played how Keyes won the Obie Award. Then in 2000, he won the Robert Cassie Award. He died on September 18, 2022 in Marguerite, Pennsylvania. Jeff West was only 82 years old. My next step topic has to do with Robert Brown, an American actor by the name. He was an American television actor with the most active in the 1960s until the 1970s. He was born in Twisted, New Jersey, on November 17th, 1926, to his parents. I can't remember this name. Sorry. He served in the United States Navy during the mid 1940s. Okay. Makes more sense. Anyway, Brown guest starred in numerous television programs. He was cast in roles of Pierre Cole in the two-part episode of the Mad Dog Cole Story, and the NBC series The Lawless Years, which was transmitted on July 28th until August 4th and August 4th, 1961. He made 3 guest appearances of Perry Mason as Frank Sykes in the 1960s episode Case of the Marvelous Blade, as Garen Gilbert in the 1963 episode Case of Robert Mall. Both were as a murder. Tracy Gower in the 1964 episode The Case of the Sleepy Slaver. Okay, he also appeared once on Bewitched, playing the role of the Come Alive Garbage Fisherman. Wow. Okay. Memorial. Okay. Statue and the Darwin and Partials, which aired on October 22nd, 1970. Brown's starring role in the comedic fast-talking Jason Bolt, 1968 until 1970 ABC series Here Comes the Brides. Sorry about that, everyone. Just did not know what's going on. But anyway, he starred Car Promise from 1971 to 1972 syndicated adventure series Promise. In 1962, he was cast minister in the episodes NBC's Western series Bonanza, Bless Our Bay. Brown's appearance both for the two beings, altering the characters as Lawrence in the episode of Star Trek called The Alterous Factor in 1967. He was cast at the last minute when Drew Barrymore failed to appear for shooting. He only feature film credits in the science fiction film Flame Blair, and the horror film Tar of One in 1952. In 1975, Brown appeared as the son of a murder victim in the Colonial episode Playback. Brown was a close friend of Carl O'Connor, who is best known for the actor goes by the name of Archie Bunker in this series called All the Family. In the period episode of O'Connor series, Archie Bunker plays in 1979 in the episode of In the Heat of the Night titled Poor Relations, which aired in 1994. He also did voiceover work for radio and television. He was also writing and working on short series and novels. He died in Ultra, California on September 19th, 2022. He was 95 years old. My next step topic has to do with Robert Coffin, okay? Best known as Robert Renzanglo Coffin. He was an American stage director and producer who was known on and off Broadway at the National Theaters throughout the country. He was a former artistic director in the Civic Playhouse in the Park and the founder artistic director of the Colosseum Theater Center. He was born on 1933 of April 22nd to a Jewish couple of Russian descent. Alfred Crofton was a cabinet in England until shortly after his 18th birthday, when he moved to the United States and went to the real estate. Elder Crofton taught kindergarten. Robert is a younger sister, Miss Ashmore Walter. Wow. The Crofton has started sharing respect for arts, probably music, and they protected providing piano lessons and visited concerts and opera. Wow. He's material grammar, wrote, and recited poetry. Wow. Worked as a administrator of theater groups and loved to sing and folk dance. He attended Oxford University, where he majored in philology and became involved with the theater drama club. Drama club. And received the MFA with the Yale School of Drama in 1957. Makes sense in any way. But anyway, although Kaufman has worked as a freelance director on and off Broadway, he was best known as the founder, also director of the Chelsea Theater Center. In the early 1960s, New York's commercial off-Broadway was ending its golden year. Wow. There was also very few not-for-profit theaters in New York, but funding was becoming available, both for government and private corporations. Kaufman was also very long dream of sharing his own theater, okay? He was also developed a non-profit theater whose work was a professional and polished as a most heavily backed commercial productions and as a daring as commercial as off-Broadway as it's been in earlier days and initially that okay, sorry about that everyone, I just have to edge real fast. But anyway, move on. Next. There's the great European summarized theaters with George Ball, who has been a stage manager, and David Long, who has been a comedy manager. He founded Chelsea Theater Center, in the Chelsea neighborhood in Manhattan in 1965. He also produced his first season at St. Peter's, an episode of Church with a large indulging parish hall that he has been converting into gymnasium. Wow. The Chelsea later moved to the Church of Holy Apologetics. Both of the later was lower Manhattan. After a conference at each church, the Chelsea became the resident theater at the Brooklyn Academy of Music from 1968 until 1978. Wow. With the move, Kaufman acquired two new partners. Michael David had studied theater administration at Yale. He currently produced on Broadway with the partner of Dodger Theatricals, okay? Burl Harsh has studied stagecraft at Yale, could find imaginative ways to construct study in theater's tight budget. Wow. In Brooklyn, Captain Spear developed a royal audience and won raves from critics. During these 10 years, however, new theaters opened, funding sources decreased, and costs rose. Many non-profit theaters became cautious. Calvin and his partners continued to be cutting-edge work. Wow. When black exploitations threatened exploitations to attempt in the late 60s, these three white producers staged some of the first black malevolent plays. When women began discovering independence from male-run installations, these men produced feminist plays. Chosen to ask Jewish audience to appreciate a play showing the humanity of Nazi, assimilation, whatever that is, so sorry. Advised young audience to understand the tributes of old age. Wow. Gave seniors a close view of youth culture, believing that fear represents shared universal experiences, okay? He originally put artists from different cultures and Spanish background in the same project. Glenn Close, who is that later became the actress who played 101 Dalmatians, 102 Dalmatians at the time. Frank Magasha, Christopher Lloyd, who played some good acting career at the time. Meryl Streep, who's been good at actresses here, were among the artists who work in the museum's salaries to be part of the Chelsea's experience. In 1973, Broadway director and producer Hal Prince came to Brooklyn to stage the revival Cannon's operetta, which had been a Broadway flop. Wow. The audience sat inside, under, and all around parts of the Cannon set. When the show returned to Broadway, the producers got the fear and to recreate Chelsea's commercial set, designed by Eugene Lee. Critics often said Coughlin and his colleagues stretched the boundaries of fear, okay? Spectators subscribed to seasons before they knew what plays Chelsea's producers would do, okay? So yeah, Coughlin responded to growing commercial crisis by moving the Chelsea to Manhattan. Wow. Where it took the residents in the West Side art sphere. Wow. Later the new commercial sphere in 1986. He was continued to direct the original off-Broadway and Broadway spheres. His life and work is documented in Chelsea on the Edge, The Adventures of the American Sphere, a book by W. Nopplum. The book puts the Chelseas in the context in the American society, mainstream and countercultural. Wow. During the 60s and 70s, and it's a story of how the funding crisis and the arts suspended fear. It's gotten the following within the fear and commercially both because it's one of the first in-depth studies in racial fear. Because it is a dramatic art structure and novelist narrative, Bob Kaufman was a unique man, and culture is on the edge. Is a financial account the unique fear he created, said Frank Magasha. Glenn Close commented that book would interest her because it explores group dynamics and attempt to answer that question. How does one make an organization that is created, how the passion and sponsory and commercially of certain key elements. Harry Prince wrote that for the book. He died September 20th, 2022. He was, let me check here. 88 years old. Now, I got a lot to deal with here. Davey nomination, we're talking to some of the celebrities who appreciate him and his offers and her own tribute to An American Fear. Now, there's a lot to explain on Robert Compton, so there you go. My next topic has to do with John Hovenan. That's very, oh man, very good advice. But anyway, it was born as John Rogan Hovenan, best known as Funny John, Naughty John, or anything above. Born as a born Australian children's television presenter and actor on stage and screen who has appeared in the theater productions, soap operas, and made-for-television films. He was a presenter of Australian children's program. He played school for 29 years, from 1970 until 1999. He featured more than 350 episodes and became a second longest serving presenter in the program's history after Brendan Collins, whom he often presented. He was born on March 18th, 1935, in Ashbury, England, and grew up in Suffolk. Oh wow. When his mother moved in the local baker, His father moved the rest of the family to Norfolk. His lost contact with his mother at a point. His father was part of the Royal Flying Corps during World War I. Hammond himself joined the Air Force. Wow. And he did his national service in Conference in the late 50s before he returned to England. He eventually trained at school for 6 months, decided on a career in acting instead of studying drama to become an actor. And then Fear. Hammond started an acting career in England, reportedly Fear and Fear Royal Windsor. He worked in the Old Time Music Hall. After merging into Australia, Hammond continued to work for over a 25-year period from 1970 until 1995, including Wall Street Spirit and the stage show of Play School. He also toured the stage play of Crown Marshal as King Edward the 8th. Okay, makes more sense. Anyway, in television, in 1967 until 1967. Let's skip it. Okay, anyway. Hamilton made an appearance in the cult British TV series The Prisoner in the episode called The A Change of Mind. Okay. After merging Australia, Hammond researched his roles in television in the late 60s until the late 80s, including the roles in soap operas, becoming notable for his roles in series called The Restless Years as A.R. Jordan. And his television credits also includes number 96, Class 34, and Young Daughters as Dr. Dan Whitley. Slum Daughters and Case of the Deafens, something like that. I don't know. Hammond played the role of Michael Carmen in 1984 Tully movie, The Appearance of Aria Chamberlain. After hiatus in the 90s, he returned to television series and guest roles in All Saint and Love My Way in the early 2000s. Play School presenter, known as being obviously double interest in sketch. Hammond was the second most prolific presenter of Play School, appearing on 357 episodes from 1970 until 1999. And fellow presenter mentioned colleagues appearing in 41 episodes. Okay? On the show, Hammond would sing, read stories, make crafts, play with toys, and educate children about such things as telling the time and the days of the week. He returned briefly with a special guest into appearance in 2016 as part of the Play School's 50th anniversary special. He came to Australia in the 60s as a 10-pound palm with his second wife, Wendy. After Play School, he retired and moved to Tasmania. Wow. With his third wife, Jenny, who he married in 1984. He had two children, Emma and Miles. He suffered a heart attack in 2003. In 2008, he published his memoirs, Open Wide, Come Inside, with Richard, with Pierre Richmond, something like that. I don't know. He died in the hospital in Sydney on September 21st, 2022. He was 87 years old. My next topic has to do with Zac Efron, okay? He was an American television producer and screenwriter. He was beginning his career as a writer and producer on Charm, Dawson's Creek, and True Calling, before serving as co-executive producer of Prison Break. He was set to write the script on an eventually unproduced spinoff, Prison Break Cherry Hill, along with Prison Break's executive producer Matt Hoffman, both of whom who committed the idea of the spinoff with fellow executive producer Don Porras. He's also producer of the film Stranger Than Fiction. In 2018, he served as a show on the Netflix show Lost in Space. He was born in Fort Connecticut in 1970 or 1971 and raised in Brooklyn, New York. His father, John, was also a screenwriter. He attended the University in South California. He and his wife, Carl, had 2 daughters. On September 23rd, 2022, he died from when jogging in Palm Beach, California. He died after apparently going into car arrest. He was 51 years old and was not became ill at that time frame. My next step topic has to do with Jonah Hawkins. Okay, Hawkins, I pronounce it. Anyway, she was a American stage, screen, and television actress, writer, and performance artist. A lifetime member of the Actors Studio and the Dramatic Gold. Hawkins, I pronounce it, sorry, was the best known for playing Dr. Nancy Collingham for several seasons in Odd Couple. For co-writing the Eric Morris and semi-acting Mario No Acting Please in 1937, which is still used for colleagues and commissions, and her groundbreaking performance in art in the 1990s. She was born in Los Angeles on September 21st, 2027. Her former president worked in the insurance and inventions, okay? Her mother, Catherine Bixby, hailed from the family of cattle ranchers in Orange County that turned Rancho Los Ranchos into the 26,000-acre cattle ranch. Alskis was raised in the San Bernardino, okay, and attended Westridge School in nearby Pasadena, okay. She studied Smith College, graduated with a Bachelor's of Art in 1949. She then attained a master's degree in early childhood education from Bank Street Teachers College 3 years later, before teaching nursery school and kindergarten for 3 years. At the age of 26, Hawkins switched from teaching to acting, joined the actor studio, and studied acting in New York City. She made a Broadway debut in Advice and Constant, adapting a novel by that same name. From the 1950s to 1990s, Hawkins played the various roles in television, film, and theater, Summer Stock, and Broadway. Wow. She was featured in Broadway's production of It's a Bird, The Plane, It's Superman, Philadelphia Previews, and Write Me a Murder. Wow. Before playing Mara in the soap opera, The Secret Storm, for several years in the early 1960s. She moved back to Los Angeles in 1967 and worked steadily in the television throughout the 70s. Normally Hawkins played Dr. Nancy Collingham, sometimes girlfriend of Oscar Madison, on television sitcom of The Odd Couple. Television version of The Odd Couple. Anyway, and Ellen in the Emmy-winning series My World and Welcome to It. Someone to Ellen. She also made guest appearances on television shows such as Bewitched, St. Elsewhere, Lou Grant, Charlie Angels, Max, Marks Welby, Bobby Jones, and more. On the big screen, she co-starred as Mama Harsley in the feature film Oh, the Bully Joe in 1936. She also began writing, sorry about that everyone, but anyway, original material in the 1970s. Began with a one-woman play, Legacy, despite an upper-class housewife having a mental and emotional breakdown. Eric Morris directed the play on stage. Director Karen Arthur saw the play and approached Hawkins proposing that to make a film version, with Arthur's director and Hawkins as the writer, producer, and star. Wow. The resulting film, Legacy, in that same year, in 1975, won Best Newcomer at the Time Film Festival. During the early 80s, Hawkins returned to the stage, performing several years, and original theater such as the Oregon Shakespeare Festival and the Milky A reportedly theater. She subsequently, I pronounce this word, sorry, starred in Glass Montgomery in Los Angeles. Fear served and did occasionally television roles. Excuse me, spoke anyway. Trishy Productions. And began in the late 80s. She resumed writing original material in the time movement beyond and Peter into the performance of art world, and she founded the San Montgomery-based Trishy Productions. And wrote, produced, and performed 2 solo performance pieces. The first, Trishy's Tales from the Ranch, toured the United States in the early 90s, and rode aboard the Arab International Festival Bridge, okay? Where it was only United States production to win a French First Award. Her second solo work was Element, the French or Screwing Save My A Word in 96, and about Agent and S Word, okay. She married Robert Foster in June 58. They met while filming a live commercial. Together they have 1 child, Paula. Eventually divorced in 67. She eventually returned to Los Angeles with Paula. Her lifelong interest in policy had led to her to eventually become a part-time professional in Organization Trade, the National Institute of Group Psychology mentioned by George Bach. She died on September 27th, 2022 in Los Angeles. She was 95 years old and suffered from congenital heart failure prior to her death. My next death topic has to do with Coolio, okay? Born artist Leon F. Ivy Jr., okay? He was best known as professionally as Coolio, was an American rapper, okay? Which I'm a huge fan of, by the way. Which, by the way, first rising to fame as a member of the gangster rap group WC in the Mad Circle, which, by the way, I had never been heard before. If you watch this remix, it's for you, buddy. Anyway, Coolio achieved mainstream success as a solo artist in the mid and late 90s. With the same albums, It Takes a Chief, Gangs of Paradise. If you watch this remix, I got the album on iTunes, but unfortunately it's not there anymore. I listened to Gangs of Paradise on YouTube before, but this is a good album, by the way. But Mish Paradise, I have somewhat listened to that, but that is stealing. Anyway, and My Soul, 97. He is best known for the 95 Grammy Award win hit single Gangsta's Paradise. And wow, I'm going to say this right now, that song was one of me and Remix's best songs and rap songs I ever seen. As well as another single, Fantastic Voyage, 94. 1, 2, 3, 4, Something New in 96, and See You When You Get There in 97. From 96 on, Coolio released albums independently, providing the opening track for Aw, Here It Goes. Now, I seen this as a kid, and let me tell you, okay? When I was a kid, I seen Kenan and Kel. That was the best one I've ever seen. For the 1996 Nickelodeon television series, Kenan and Kel. He created the web series Cooking with Coolio and released a cookbook. Wow. He was born on August 1st, 1963 in Marion, Pennsylvania. He was raised mostly in Coppin, California. After attending Coppin Community College, he worked in jobs such as volunteer firefighting and security at the Los Angeles International Airport. Wow. Before he became a rapper. Wow. Coolio recorded his first single in 87, titled What You Gonna Do. It's also recorded What You Gonna Do Dance for South Groove. with New School. Wow, 1988. Wow. Coolio was made to connections in the rap dance scene, in 1991, ended up joining the group RC, WC, and the Mag Circle. Wow. Led by the rapper WC. He is credited co-contributor on the group's debut album, Ain't That D Word, Fag Change. Wow. Including the single Dress Code. Wow. Tommy Boy Records named Thief. Takes a Thief. In 1994, Coolio signed to Tommy Boy Records, released his debut solo album, It Takes a Thief. Wow. Well, that makes more sense. Anyway, their lead single, Fantastic Voyage, released heavy rotation on MTV, peaking number 3 on the Billboard Hot 100 charts. Fantastic Voyage became one of the biggest rap singles of the year. Other major hits from the albums includes Country Line, Now Remember, Takes a Thief, peaks at number 8 in the Billboard 200, becoming certified platinum. The album received praise in the bringing humorous and lighthearted surprise into album violent and profane themes of titled gangsta rap. Gangsta's Paradise. When I was born, Coolio released Gangsta's Paradise featuring R&B singer LV. That, if you watch this remix, this is for you, buddy. From the film Dangerous Minds. That one I seen as a kid, that was amazing. Now, I know I'm too young to see rated R movies, but that's just me. Anyway. But I want to watch it instead of seeing the theaters if I was down. Anyway, it became one of the best successful rap songs of all time. Loving the Billboard Hot 100 for 3 weeks. It was one of the number 1 singles in 95 in the U.S. for all genres and a global hit. Top of the United Kingdom, Ireland, France, Germany, England, Italy, Sweden, Austria, Netherlands, Norway, Sweden, Austria, and New Zealand charts. Whew, wow. Gangsta's Paradise was the second best-selling single of 95 in the UK. Wow. The song was also created a controversy when Coolio claimed that comedy musician Weird Al Yankovic. Now, if you watch Zane Lewis, I have no idea what to say here. Have not asked the permission to make this parody of Gangsta's Paradise titled Mish Paradise, which I mentioned in the episode. Anyway, in the 96 Grammy Awards, the song won Coolio a Grammy Award for Best Rap Solo Performance. Originally, Gangsta's Paradise was meant to be included on one of the Coolio's solo albums, but its success led to Coolio's not only putting this on his next album, but also making it his title track. Wow. The title track employs the chorus and the music in the song Pastime Paradise by Stevie Wonder. Wow. Which was recorded nearly 20 years earlier of Wonder's album Songs in the Key of Life. The album's Gangsta's Paradise released in 1995 and was certified 2 times platinum by the RIAA and sold more than 2 million copies globally. The album contains 2 other major hits in the 1, 2, 3, 4, Something New, and Too Hot with JT and Taylor of Kool and the Gang during the chorus. Despite no longer being an official member of the group, Coolio also appears in the second WC in the Mag Circle album, story on the song In the Twist. In 96, Coolio also had another top 40 hit with the song It's All the Way Life Now. The soundtrack in the movie Eddie. Okay. He also featured in the song Him High for the soundtrack in the 1996 film Space Jam with Be Real, Master Man, Lil LL Cool J, and Busta Rhymes. In 2014, the band followed in reverse did a cover of Gangsta's Paradise for Punk Goes 90s Volume 2, with Coolio making a cameo in the music video. Wow. Okay. Red Hot Organization and Tommy Boy Records dismissal. In 1996, Coolio appeared on the Red Hot organization's Combination CD, America is Dying Slowly. Wow, makes sense. Alongside Biz Markie, Wu Tang, Chang, and Fat Joe, which I watched behind the music, by the way. About many other proponents, hip hop artists, which I'm not a huge fan of hip hop, but that's me, which I read in the topics before. But anyway, the C meant to raise awareness of AIDS and amongst African American men. That's good. That same year, he recorded the music video "Ha, Here It Goes" for the opening sequence of Nickelodeon television series King and Kel, which ran for 4 seasons. Coolio's first 2 solo album, My Soul, came out in 1997. Although it contains a major hit, "See You When You Get There," and the album went platinum. It failed to reach the success in the previous 2 albums. Coolio went to a celebrity drop in the Tommy Boy Records label. Then since then, 2001's Coolio.com, 2003's Il Go Gioio, 2006 The Return of Gangsta, in 2008 Still Here, in 2009 From the Bottom to the Top, in 2017's Long Live the Thief has not charted any Billboard charts at all. He did a major hit in the United Kingdom in 2016 with Gangsta Walk featuring Snoop Dogg. Wow. While touring hip hop duo Insane Clown Paws, Coolio received a tattoo in the homepage of the group's fan base reading "Gaio Cool." He stated that the misspelling of initials. Wow. Coolio was performing the Gathering the Joyos. Wow. Coolio was featured in the National Corporation track called, I'm not going to say that. Sorry. F the DJ. Wow. By UK rapper Blacklist MC. Okay. Also featuring Bizarre of D12. Emma Oliver from Pakistan. And Human Missing from Mario. Okay. The song premiered on the music website Noisely from Vice in October 9, 2014. Television appearances. Coolio appeared in the contest on Comeback Die Grob Chance in 2004. Translated to English is Comeback The Big Chance. A German talent show featuring artists looking for a comeback. In 2009, Coolio appeared as a housemaid in the 6th season of the UK series version of Celebrity Big Brother. He later on appeared on the United Kingdom's Ultimate Big Brother in 2010, when he decided it was the best to leave the house and numbers conversations with Nadia Mane and others there. In 2012, in January, he was on 8 celebrities presenting the Food Network's reality television series Rachel vs. Guy Celebrity Cook-Off, where he was a presented the Basic Saves Lives organization. He also guest stars himself as Sabrina the Teenage Witch. Wow. Coolio's features a March 5th, 2013 episode of ABC reality program, Wife Swap, okay? But his then girlfriend left him after the program was taped. Wow. On June 30th, 2013, he appeared alongside comedian Jamie Claire and Murdale, actor Matthew Warriman on the UK game show Tipping Point Lucky Stars, where he came in second. Wow. On June 30th, 2012, Coolio voiced a wax figure of himself on Gravity Falls. Wow. He also appeared in Homework on the 1998 episode of Banana, which he portrayed a nerdy man and griff rapper, transported by the Jewish nanny and the rapper into a rapper from Maxwell's Schultzman new rap musical. He also guest starred in the 2014 episode of the Adult Swim show Black Jesus, titled Gangsta's Paradise. In July 2016, Coolio appeared on the ABC's Greatest Hits. In 2019, Coolio appeared on the Irish rap group Russia's track Escape Wagon. He later featured in the 2021 album WebShow on the track Coolio Interlude. Okay. He and jazz saxophonist Jarrett was listed in July 28, 2008 as spokespersons for the group Russia's Justice and Climate Change to engage students at Israeli black colleges and universities about global warming. Coolio was a spokesperson for the Mission Emergency Foundation of America. Excuse me. I just misspoke there. Anyway, he and then I just clicked the mouse next to it. I moved it. Anyway, he said that he and his children are mission sufferers. As a child, he was taken to the hospital several times to do mission accommodations. In '98, a court bargain near Stuttgart sentenced Coolio to 6 months probation and fined him $17,000. After conviction of being immersory to robbery and causing bodily injury. In 2016, Coolio members of his crew were arrested after having a loaded firearm inside a boat bag at Los Angeles International Airport. Wow. The bag was flagged by Transportation Security and Immigration group that attempted to pass through the security checkpoint. One of his bodyguards claimed ownership of the bag but witnesses stated that was belonged to Coolio himself. Coolio was sentenced 3 years of probation and 4 days of community service. Wow. In 2017, Coolio was denied entry to Singapore upon landing at JI International Airport. Singapore's immigration checkpoint officer declined to comment on the reason of denial. Client citing that recent coordination, Coolio has been traveling to Beijing to Singapore to perform the Formula One concert event. Wow. He has 6 children. He married in 1996, divorced in 2000. He was Ryan May, actress, Cherry DeVille's my personal run in 2020. He died at a friend's house in Los Angeles on September 28, 2022. Coolio was discovered on the spot of the bathroom floor. He's pronounced dead by first responders. He was 59 years old at the time of his death. Police has opened investigations of his death. Foul play is not suspected. As Coolio's manager stated, he was appeared and suffered cardiac arrest. Wow. Sad, I know. My next topic has to do with Bill Plant. Anyway, best known as William Marion Plant, was an American journalist and correspondent for CBS News. He joined the network in 1964 and was known by network senior White House correspondent for over 3 decades. Wow. He was born in Chicago on January 14th, 1938. His father, Regis, was employed as a field engineer for his company. His mother, Jane Madden, worked as a school administrator. Okay. Plant attended Warrington Academy in his hometown, graduated in 1955. Wow. It's around that time that he was employed by a classical musical radio station in Mission, Illinois. Wow. His first experience was broadcasting. Plant studied business and humanities at Loyola University of Chicago. He earned a bachelor's degree in 1959. He dropped out of Chicago Technical College of Law after a friend got him his job as assistant news director of WISN TV. Okay, he was then stationed for 4 years before being awarded journalism scholarship by CBS to study political science at Columbia University. After completing his studies at Columbia, Plant started working for CBS News in June 1964, and as a reporter as an editor. He went to South Vietnam later that year to report the Vietnam War, the first of 4 tours as a correspondent. His final tour in 1975 was on to cover the fall of Panah, something like that, and the fall of Saigon, something like that, which earned his CBS News team for the best radio spot news reporting from aboard. Award for the Overseas Press Club. Okay, in March '65, Plant went to Selma, Alabama. Went to there when the state troopers saw him marching the armored Plaza Bridge, and what later dubbed Bloody Sunday. Wow. He returned later that month to report the Selma to Palmasi marches and interviewed Martin Luther King Jr. during that evening. Wow. During that event. Excuse me. Plant was put on the correspondent that following year. Was posted in the network's Chicago Bureau. He was there for 10 years and reported from the 1966 riots in the city, protesting at Ohio University. The strike was United Auto Workers in 1970, and Jimmy Hall's disappearance 5 years later. During that time, he was also covered events overseas. He also included the state funeral General Arnold Nasser and into the Indo-Pakistan War of 1971, which earned him 2 more Overseas Press Club awards with Spot Radio News. Okay, he moved to CBS Washington Bureau in December 1976. He was appointed as senior White House correspondent for CBS 10 years later. Wow, held that role for 35 years until his retirement in November 2016. Wow. He anchored CBS Sunday Night News from 1988 until 1995. He also reported CBS Miss Moore and CBS EB News. Plant won several Emmy Awards, both outright and shared with several CBS News correspondents for his coverage of the Vietnam War airfield in 1982, Ronald Reagan's re-election in 1994, Ronald Reagan's Samantha McHale's Gorbachev 2 years later, the funeral of Diana, Princess of Wales in 1997. He also noted that his excessive wine collection. Wow. He also conversed by other members in the press corps to be experts in the subject to became the official summary during his tenure as White House correspondent. He also spoke to the subject of the time to time on the Early Show and CBS News this Sunday morning. While covering Bill Clinton's visit to New Zealand, Plant brings jump on over the Cumberland River alongside White House aides. Before jumping, he declared, "This is Bill Plant of CBS News, proving that you're never too old to do so. Really stupid." Wow. But Plant was best known for boomerang voice. His first marriage to Barbara Bames Tongue. Together they have 2 children, as well as some 4 sons, where his previous marriage which Plant adopted. Including featured Senate radio talk show host Chris Plant. Wow. They eventually divorced and he later married to Robin Smith in 1987. They were married for 44 years until his death. One of his sons, Patrick, received him in 2014. Plant died on September 28, 2022, at his home in Washington, D.C. He was 84 years old and suffered from respiratory failure prior to his death. Wow. Got 3 more to read. My next death topic has to do with Al Primo. Born Albert Thomas Primo, he was a American television news executive who was credited to be creating the eyewitness news format. Born more than 100 markets that taken the eyewitness news name to label their own featured local newscasts, and all other are using those concept under different names to their own formats. Eyewitness News was the first newscast to put news reporters on the set. Final say was an autobiographical book, Eyewitness Newsman. The New York Nightly News described Primo as a man who almost single-handedly changed the face of broadcast journalism. Station newscast was only 50 minutes long and supervised the transition to 3-minute programs. Wow. He was born in Pittsburgh on July 3rd, 1935. He was raised in nearby Perrysville, Pennsylvania. Wow. And attended North Clay Boys School, Perry's High School. He studied at the University of Pittsburgh, graduated from the Bachelor's of Art in 1958. He then commented convinced that postgraduate studies, commercial mails in university, and he died, but left the following year without completing a degree there. Wow. He began his business in 1953 as a mailboy in WDTV in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, moving up the ranks in the station, switched from daily programs from Channel 3 to Channel 2, owners of Del Mount Television Network from Westinghouse Broadcasting, and callers in KATV, Workers Newsletter, cameraman, reporter, and anchorman. In 1953 of February, Primo's named assistant news director at KATV. Primo moved to KATV to KYW-TV in Cleveland, Ohio, to become a news director there in 1954. While in Cleveland, Ohio, Primo hired Tom Snyder, who was the previous anchor Jim Axel left. When Westinghouse switched their Cleveland station with NBC's WRCTV in Pennsylvania in 1965, he moved to Pennsylvania. Eyewitness News. It was Philadelphia, The probably launched the Eyewitness News format. The name itself had been used for some years before Westinghouse television station years, for this local newscast. It was in fact that was first used by KYW itself in 1959 when it's based in Cleveland, Ohio. In September of 1968, Palmer moved to WABC, the ABC affiliate New York City, to become director of the news there. He refined the Eyewitness News from format of WABC TV. How reminds woman reporters, whom he placed prominent stipulation in the newscast, including the initiations of on-camera exchange between anchors and on-set reporters, which Chicago-based media critic Maury Roth dubbed Hot Happy Talk, when the format which introduced WLS TV's newscast, And Eyewitness News name was formed in format original across the United States from here, Palmer was also chose the musical score of the guitar sequence in the movie Cohan Luke, composed by Leo Shaw, performing. I haven't pronounced the last name. Sorry. As news beam for WABC's Eyewitness News. It commercially exposed from many other television stations in the United States, and by stations for years to, I can't pronounce the last name, sorry, to his work. Anyway, at WABC TV, Palmer's mentioned the anger stole of Roger Gillespie and Bill Burchell in 1970. The dual gamer high ratings for 16 years until April of 1986, when Gillespie was let go from the station. ABC News, Pringle was made vice president in charge of news for ABC's owned and operated stations in May 1972. And in February 1973, ABC launched a half-hour news magazine, The Reader Report, featuring veteran newsman Harry Reisner as anchor. When executive producer Ernest Leeser left The Reader Report from becoming the executive producer of ABC Evening News, where Reisner also anchored, Palmer was applied to replace him. Wow. Reisner Report was canceled in May 1975. Palmer left the network the following year to become its consultant. In 1999, Palmer worked with Jonathan Bond to launch PorganTV.com, a website which features streaming podcasts for international news, hiring PR artists as an international correspondent. The following year, PorganTV.com Incorporated became Medium4.com, launching 3 additional websites: StreamingUSA.com, NicheTV.com, and Medium4Music.com. Palmer went on to launch Teen Kids Now in 2002 as a project to give young people the opportunity to develop an interest in news industry through developing news and information to their peers. He was married to Rosie Parrish for 55 years until her death in March 2018. Together they have 3 children. One of them, Albert, precedes him. He died on September 29th, 2022, in his home of Old Greenwich, Connecticut. He was 87 years old and suffered from cancer prior to his death. My next topic has to do with Roger Welsh, okay? He was an American news reporter who was senior correspondent of the CBS News Sunday Morning program and was featured in a segment called Postcards from Nebraska. An author and humanist spokesperson, Welsh was born in Lincoln, Nebraska on November 6, 1936, okay? And lived outside of Nebraska. And they did, and yeah, something like that. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Welsh was a 2005 winner of the Henry Final Award from the state of Nebraska's Travel and Tourist Division. He died September 30th, 2022 at the age of 85 after entering hospice. He was a correspondent, news editor, anchor, producer, author, which I mentioned before. Anyway, my last death topic has to do with Raymond Allen. He was best known as Raymond John Allen. He was a British television screenwriter and playwright. He was best known for screening the 1970s BBC sitcom Some Others Do Avon. He wrote comedy sketches for Frankie Howard, Dave Howland, Maxwell, and Roland Large. He was born and raised on the Isle of Wight on March 15, 1940. That's just me. Anyway, in England. Anyway, his father, Les, worked as a railway supervisor. His mother was Ivy Alley. Okay. Allen attended secondary modern school. In his hometown, he was 16. He started as a club reporter in the Isle Right Times, but quit after 18 months due to unsocial hours he had work at. Then served in the Royal Air Force, worked as a Calvin's office, and then guards insurance for 3 years. Wow. He then returned to Ireland, taking jobs to washing dishes in hotels and cleaning Sharkin's legal cinema, okay? At the start of his career, Allen worked in around 40 serious plays, but commercially unsuccessful for more than a decade. The script for the first sitcom was rejected by ITV, but the second was became Some Lovers Do Avon was accepted by the BBC. He was successfully invited to write 6 further episodes, with 2 more serious coming afterwards. Allen followed this up to Dobson Donut in 1974, but only the pilot episode was broadcast. 2 other sitcoms commercials, Don't Move Now in 1986, Euro Genius in 1937 was produced but were not broadcast. After Alice regularly contributed the 9 editions of Little and Large Show and some other on-off plays. And it was also not He also wrote for All Cricket in Wellies in 1986, as well as a children's show Fast Forward in 1987. However, he was unable to repeat every early success. Wow. He did have more positive results in its stage with one of our owls that's missing, which toured in 1979. Later Life and Death. In 2016, Allen contributed some of this dialogue in special one-off episodes and some others derive them for sport belief. He married Nancy Williams the following year. She has one son for the previous relationship. They survived live in his later years. Some of its Zoo-IVM was adopted from the stage by Guy Onsworth and started tour in 2018. He died on October 2nd, 2022 on the Isle of Wight and suffered from cancer prior to his death. He was 82 years old. Now, without further ado, let's do the moment of silence of pledge in regards to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 15 death reports right now. Thank you. Recipe C15. My last topic I'm going to read, I was going to do the Super Mario one today, but it has to wait till next week. Right now, I'm going to read you one last topic, and that is, of course, James Earl Jones retires from voicing Darth Vader. Now, what's going to happen to Darth Vader after this one? Now, future Star Wars productions will recreate Jones' Mandarin voice using artificial intelligence, okay? Since 1977, actors James Earl Jones has struck fear into hearts of moviegoers across the galaxy as the voice of Darth Vader, the faceless villain in the popular Star Wars franchise. But now at 91, Jones has decided to retire from the role. His Carter's Darth Vader voice live on through the Carter's Intelligence, AI for short, program that he's learned his tones and inventions. Vanity Fair's Anthony Brown reports Jones signs over the rights to his audio voice recordings to Repeater, a Ukraine-based startup that is working for Lucasfilm to present and recreate the actor's mentioning voice using a probably AI hologram. He has mentioned that he was looking into his winding down in his popular career, Matthew Wood said, project sounding editor of Lucasfilm that tells Vanity Fair. So how he would move forward. In the Star Wars storyline, Darth Vader or Anakin Skywalker dies near the end of Star Wars Return of the Jedi, which seen before. I have not seen Rogue One or the ninth one yet, which was released in 1983. But years since Jones has responded to roles such as films such as Rogue One in 2016 and Star Wars and the Rise of Skywalker in 2019, when Disney bought Lucasfilm in 2012, some of the much more recent film shows such as Obi-Wan Kenobi miniseries. The comedy tasted with speakers, AI Americans recreating the Asian actor's Darth Vader's voice 45 years ago. Well, Joe guided the performance of his AI-generated cover part at the popular godfather to the series, Wood Tells Vanity Fair. Representative also agreed that the voice of young Luke Skywalker in the book of Boba Fett in 2021. As Jason Carr writes for Just Motto, Disney's decision to create the AI generated version of Jones' voice is interesting because other actors had played Darth Vader over the years and did a very good job of it. Such as Matt Solon in the 2008 video game of The Force Unleashed. If you watch this, Lucas, Barron's Very Gamer Spew. You gotta play this game. Anyway, similar to the edition of about AI's art, there's something that initially deciding about this, and the feeling it was likely not go away as Disney's used as in other shows or films. Car rights, okay? Beyond Star Wars, Jones has a prolific acting career on films on stage dating back in the 1950s. Wow. He has also received numerous awards, including 2 Emmys, a Grammy, an honorary Garner, Oscar, and 2 Tonys, which has made him a rare EGOT award winner, something like that. Earlier this month, Broadway Theater was renamed in actor's honor. Jones first performed in the theater in 1958, just a year before his Broadway career. Just a year into his Broadway career, excuse me. And his name changes to comes independence push to recognize black artists on Broadway. On stage, Jones accompanied powerful Kenny Leon, a Tony Gwynn, director of Vitel's Vanity, Michael F. Pearce. He brought the evidence and dying of African American men. Yeah, that was my James Earl Jones retiring from voicing Darth Vader topic. That was sad to me to see James Earl Jones go as Darth Vader. I'm gonna miss that, you know. I don't know, cause the future of Darth Vader, he's not gonna call me the father of me, unfortunately, because it's not my name, you know. Cause it's not my. People are gonna call me Luke. I'm your father. That's my. It's my dad Chris's name. And my dad, bud, if you watch this, I have no idea what to say. Jedi thing. I'm not a Jedi. I'm a filmmaker. Duh. So anyway, and that was the Crazy Bunch's web show episode number 33. Hope you enjoy it. Stay tuned for the next one, which is going to be 34th episode. I'm not sure it's going to be as of yet, but we'll see what happens. Coming up next, there will be a brand new episode 1 Son of OJ Peace Club episode number 532. And then later on, I'm going to do an update video on my main channel. Now, excuse me, I gotta have some lunch to do, and then I'm going to be going to Lowe's. Till next time, Sue Jervis, Bob, baby. We got more business episode. 2 minutes out. See ya.